Commanders. We fight for RDC. Who are we? The Commanders. Those haters can't stand us. Left hand up.
It's Monday, and you know what that means. Time for another Flex Zone podcast episode. Sit back, relax, take a seat on a comfy couch as we have a Commanders therapy session. We're unpacking it all. The Cinderella season has unfortunately come to an end by those diabolical brothers from the 215. Gilly, Meek Mill, all of those people. Donovan McNabb. It was a little bit of a beatdown, but we're going to talk about it. We have a big-time guest returning to the Flex Zone podcast. And like Jaden Daniels, he comes through in the clutch each and every day. We'll tell you who it is in a second. We talk about the AFC and the NFC championship games and the three-peat loading. Or will the Eagles finally be able to break through? We got to talk about the NBA All-Star starters. Did they get it right? And, hey, do you even care? We got game ball, not so game ball. And we'll look ahead to the preview of the Super Bowl in New Orleans. More coaches are hired, and one is staying in Baltimore as the offensive coordinator. It's the Flex Zone, episode 475, all the way live. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell. Let us know how you're feeling down below. It's the Flex Zone, episode 475. Coming your way right after this. More exciting than a victorious locker room hitting to the Super Bowl. It is the Flex Zone podcast, fellas. Only place giving you sports how you want it,
when you need it.
Episode 475, all the way live, continuing bringing you the heat in 2025 with our illustrious panel of guests and creators blessing us with their time here on the Flex Zone. We're appreciative yet again as we have one of the top Commanders content creators out there, bar none, second to none, and he's returning to the Flex Zone. We're excited to have his brother. We'll talk about that in a second. But if you haven't already, follow us Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, the Flex Zone 1. Subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, vote on the poll. Let us know who wins that Super Bowl first. Is it Lamar? Is it Jaden Daniels? Do they not get a Super Bowl? Do you care? Let us know. Vote on the poll. We appreciate any suggestions or contributions to that. Twitter, of course, and the flexzone1@gmail.com. You can email us, want to be a part of the show here as well. And as always, joined by the crew. Let's get straight to it. Let's not waste any more time. Big Raj, what's going on, man? Another fun football weekend, but we only have, well, if you count the Pro Bowl, 2 more weekends of football. But I'm sure you'll still be out somewhere with no bread, no water, just me.
No bread, no water, just me.
Finish him, Daddy.
That's one big son of a bitch!
Okay, that's it. All right, great. Still doing it. We was on with the Raw crew. Now we going on with the regular scheduled program.
The OTC's in the building. Drizzy Dre, the Dean of Baltimore Hall University, Mr. Morgan State University. Drizzy Dre, always good to see you, my brother. Another fun weekend.
Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf. I love you solo. Acknowledge me.
Hey man, like Rod, I'm ready to get the show on the road, man.
Last but not least, our good brother. He's here. He's still feeling good. It was a successful season. And for now, I guess to put a bow on the season, it's only right we play his theme song.
Those haters can't stand us. Left hand up. Commanders.
Oh man, theme song is a stretch.
I like theme song.
Jam.
Every superhero needs a
jam.
theme, right?
Cravante, have you
Well,
recovered?
now that's goofy.
No, I'm pretty good, man. And the funny thing about blowouts is that midway through, it's like, you know what? You have nothing but time to reflect on the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like by the time the fourth quarter came around, I was like, man, I can't wait till we get to see who we get in the draft, man, because this is the worst our team's gonna look. So NFC Championship, it's only up from here. So I got out of a rut really quickly.
Always good to see you, brother.
So let me ask you what hurt more. Was it the blowout or the fact that I finally got a bet on you?
Man, I ain't tripping. You just give me a reason to go back to the liquor store. I ain't tripping. now I got a double different crown. Now I got to get 2 more crowns. Now I got to do it now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. but Dre has finally beat me in the bet. It's been what 10 years.
Redemption.
We got one. You had to get one eventually.
Look. First it was you. Now I need the Chiefs to pull through because my manager. If y'all remember that first Eagles Super Bowl run, I lost a bottle of Patron to him, and I told him today. I said I came straight to his office. I said it's redemption time.
That's right.
I said 3-peat is on the way.
That's right. That's
Well,
big Chiefs energy over here.
Speaking of champions, this brother is a champion on the YouTube and content creation airways. He's graciously joining us on short notice. I reached out to him. He said, I'll come back. I'll talk Commanders. I'll give you my insight. He is second to none. He is a conglomeration of his own with the one and only Louis T Sports Network, where you can get all your source for sports news, especially that Commanders content that we love so much. Returning to the Flex Zone podcast, you can check out his channel. It is down below. I want you guys to go to that link. Go over there. Show him some love. Subscribe. Comment. Tell him you're from the Flex Zone. Show him some love on his wonderful content because no one does it better, especially when it comes to the Commanders. And returning back to the Flex Zone podcast is the one and only Louis T from the Louis T Network. Back on the Flex Zone podcast. Put your hands together. Make some noise. The big boss OTC himself, Louis T, back in the building. What's up, Louis?
What's going on, fellas? Appreciate y'all for having me on.
Welcome back, Louis T. What's going on, brother?
Nothing much, man. Been better. Been better, obviously. But feeling good about the future, man. We got one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and so that gives us a reason for hope in the future.
Brother Louis T, for those who may not know who you are, what you do, I always like to tell the people, nobody can tell your story better than you can. Let the people know how they can find you, keep up with you. I got the link down below. Tell the people what they need to do and what you got going on your wonderful YouTube channel.
Man, so my name is Louis T, host of the Louis T Network. I cover the NFL. I always used to like to say I cover the NFL like a blanket. Anything and anything you can think of NFL related, I'm going to be talking about it. I have a podcast, Louis T Network podcast, that I talk about just about anything on football, basketball, boxing, TV, you name it. I'm all over the place on the podcast. But if you're talking about NFL, I cover that after every primetime game. I'm live. Obviously, I'm a Commanders fan, but I'm not limited to that. I've always said I watch way more football than any one human should consume. So I'm about to turn my attention to free agency and then obviously the draft. So the NFL is like a nonstop, about 11-month a year job. So I just do my part, man. I just do my part.
Well, we appreciate you giving us some time, brother T. We know you're very, very busy. Cravante, you want to lead us off, brother?
Sure, of course. Why not? What were your realistic expectations? Now, I kind of know because, like I said, I follow you. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of know, but I just want you to tell the people what were your realistic expectations for this Commanders team organization in year one.
Oh man, I was not expecting obviously what we ultimately got. I thought that the team would be 7-10, low side, high side. If the ball bounced our way, and we kept the turnovers to a minimum, and Jaden Daniels, played well in his rookie season, we get to 9. I didn't foresee double-digit wins. I definitely didn't see us winning more than 10 games for the first time since 1991. But clearly, all expectations, and I said this in the moment when it happened, that week 3 win over Cincinnati on Monday Night Football changed everything. And once that happened, I thought the sky was the limit. I'm like, we got to star at the quarterback position. And so once I saw that performance outdueling Joe Burrow in Cincinnati on that stage, I knew we had a chance to have a special season. Did I anticipate it being a trip to the NFC Championship game for the first time since 1991? Absolutely not. And, starting off 7-2, I'd asked for this type of season for a long time. I was like, man, for once, I just want to be good to start the season. For so many years when Washington is any good, and, those are few and far between. But when we were good, it would always be this backdoor late run where we had to win 5 straight or 5 out of 6 to get in the playoffs as a wild card. I just for once wanted to be good at the beginning of the season and not have to struggle late to make the postseason, and got my wish. We were 7-2, and then we hit that little rut. We lost 3 in a row, and it shook a lot of us because we still suffer from PTSD as fans.
Absolutely.
You've been down for so long, like we have. It doesn't take much to kind of rattle your cage a little bit. And Bobby Wagner, that's where that veteran leadership kind of comes into play. And he told everyone that this wasn't a good team. This was a great team, and that they were going to get through that adversity. And they did. They came out on the other side, and they ultimately won, what turned out to be 7 straight games, and put us in a position to have a chance to play in the Super Bowl. We just weren't able to get it done. But what a magical season it was. But the expectations weren't high going in. We turned our roster over by 60% from a year, the year prior. And, there weren't massive expectations in year one. But to see what they were able to do in such a short amount of time gives us immense hope for the future.
What were your thoughts about Dan Quinn's job throughout the season? How would you grade him in his first year as the head coach of the Commanders?
Oh man, he gets a A from me. I mean, I think he should be the runner-up. I'm biased, so I think he should win head coach of the year, but he won't. That's going to go to Kevin O'Connell, and rightfully so. I think Kevin O'Connell, having a 14-3 record with Sam Darnold at quarterback, nobody had that, as a storyline this year, but neither did anybody have the Commanders going 12-5 and making it to the NFC Championship game. Obviously, that's a regular season award, so you're not going to count the 2 wins on the road in the postseason, but Quinn was phenomenal, and it was his direction, his messaging, his culture shift that really helped foster the brotherhood that you saw from this team this year. And the anybody, anywhere, anytime moniker, the different sayings that, for lack of a better phrase, the Danisms, or the DQ-isms that we heard, whether it's anybody, anywhere, anytime, or the only fight that matters is the one that we're in. These were, things that those players lived by. Those ended up being creeds that they lived by, and he was really big on them becoming heavy hitters. And he talked about them, in order to be a heavy hitter, you got to beat a heavy hitter. And we were able to do that multiple times throughout the course of the season, whether it was Philadelphia in a crazy game, obviously on the road at Tampa, avenging that loss in week 1, or obviously going on the road and beating the number 1 seeded Detroit Lions and doing it in epic fashion. So this team grew throughout the year, and a lot of the credit that this team got, I think should go to Dan Quinn, because your coach matters, and your coach is, to me, a direct your team is a direct reflection of its head coach. And I think the reason that the team was so successful this year and so tough-minded, like this was a team, that was what part of what made that loss to Philadelphia so disappointing, is we hadn't seen this team quit all season long. We hadn't gotten our brains bashed in like that all year. And I didn't expect to see it in the most important game of the season, but that's a direct reflection of Dan Quinn. This team never quit, no matter what, whether you're down 27-13 in the fourth quarter to Philadelphia and you've turned it over 4 times, or you're down 17-7 at the half to Atlanta. This team never quit, and they always found a way to get it done. And so I think he did a phenomenal job, and looking forward to seeing how he continues to grow as a head coach. I think that second time around is going to be really big for him.
Let me ask you this. What changes do you feel need to be made this offseason in order for you guys to then get over the hump from an NFC championship game into a Super Bowl?
Well, there has to be some changes from a roster standpoint. I think the mentality that this team has is already set now. There's a culture, there's a standard. They call it a commander standard now that's been set. And I think there are enough veterans here that will be able to make sure that that standard is upheld. But we got to get more talent, and you got to first protect your investment. And Jaden Daniels is one of the best quarterbacks in football already, and you have to protect him. So I think your first, to me, investment should be along the offensive line. You want to run the ball better. You want to protect him better. I think you have to fortify that offensive line. And it's not a terrible unit, but we need a left tackle. I'll say that right now. You have to upgrade that position first. Obviously, we were one of the worst run defenses in football. If you just look at the division that we play in, you want to beat Philadelphia, you're going to have to be able to stop Saquon Barkley. We can't do that right now. So I think you would have to address some things there. Obviously, defensive end is something that we'll have to continue to look at. We need a guy that's a game changer off the edge, someone that can also stop the run. One of our, worst features of the run game was we weren't good on the edges. Anytime you wanted to get to the perimeter against us, you had a field day. So, and I always bring this up. I wasn't the biggest Montez Sweat fan, but one thing you weren't going to do was run on the outside against Montez Sweat. And, to a lesser extent, but Chase Young as well, even though I wasn't a Chase Young fan either by the time he left Washington. Those guys made plays against the run, if nothing else. So we got to find guys that can, help stop the run, because you can't win this division if you can't beat Philadelphia, and you can't beat Philadelphia if you can't stop the run. Obviously, we got to upgrade the weapons around Jaden Daniels. I think we need a back with some speed to complement Brian Robinson Jr. I think we need a number 2 receiver opposite of Terry McLaurin. I think those are going to be, big off-season acquisitions. I think T. Higgins is a commander. I feel that in my spirit right now, but, we'll see what happens. But, you start to get some of those things. You're going to need a boundary corner opposite of Marshawn Lattimore, who I think will be healthy next year, and he'll be better and he'll bounce back. and then you can move Mike Samer still inside to the nickel, which is where they drafted him to play anyway. And then you kind of see where the defense goes from there. But I think there are a lot of pieces in place, but you have to add some. And you can't fix everything in one offseason, but I think there's an opportunity for them to fix some things.
I see Cravante over there praying when you said T. Higgins. Yeah.
I think he stays, brother T. Not to get off topic, I think he might stay, man. I think he might stay
in Cincinnati.
I think Mike Brown might pull out some money out his ass.
I don't know where he gonna get it from because you about
he
to
did it for Joe Burrow,
right? But you about to make Jamar Chase the highest paid receiver in the league. What you gonna make T. Higgins the 5th highest paid receiver on top of
Bengals?
Chase?
They're the Bengals. They would do that.
I can't see them. And they refused to pay Jamar last year. They refused to pay Trey Hendrickson. Who I know a lot of Commanders fans want him in free agency as well. And so there's a lot of money that they're going to be on the hook for if they want to keep some of their players. I can't see them keeping both receivers and Trey Hendrickson if they want to keep him. I think he's as good as gone. And so the question now becomes, is he after the biggest bag he can get? Because I think that's New England. Or is he after a good size bag, but with a better upside and a better quarterback in Jaden Daniels?
I absolutely agree. I think Trey Hendrickson is going to demand a lot of money too, because his production is through the roof. I think he has 17 sacks. Yeah, like his production is going to price out the Bengals. And the Bengals are not a pretty frugal franchise. So
absolutely,
I don't think they're going to pay 2 wide receivers.
No, they're not. That's
and their best defensive play. I just don't think that's going to happen. So I agree with you. I think they're going to make Jamar Chase, whatever Justin Jefferson's contract was, that's going to be the floor. And T. Higgins is going to be on the market.
Yeah, what we said, 3 people you can pay max.
If we talk about top 5 contracts, you only could pay really 3 people on the team. That's just how I see it.
And they already paying Joe Burrow.
And they're definitely paying Jamar Chase.
And they're definitely playing Jamar Chase. So I can't see them spending 2 of those contracts at the same position.
No, I don't think they have the money.
Like they always say, you can have whatever you want. It's about choices. I know, I got you though.
What do you think about exploring moving Brandon Coleman to guard?
I'm a big advocate for
drinking
it.
that Mountain Spring over there, man.
Yes. That's what I said I would have done already. But that's an off-season thing. Again, where do you put him? Because theoretically speaking, if Sam Cosmi, and I think that's initially where you may be able to put him until Cosmi's healthy, because he may not be ready to start this regular season because his injury happened so late. He may be out, and on the PUP list to start, and may miss the first 4 to 6 weeks of the season. So somebody's got to start there. I think Coleman could do a good job, but at some point Cosmi will be healthy and you're going to insert him right back into his right guard spot. So I think Allegretti's spot at left guard would be the most, appealing there. But are you going to uproot Nick Allegretti, who is a veteran, a Super Bowl winner, a guy that you trust, slowly becoming one of the leaders on the team? I don't know if they're looking, but they claim that they're open to competition and they're always going to try to find those edges. So if you're all about competition, I think Nick Allegretti and Brandon Coleman should be, battling it out for left guard. And then I think you need to go out and find yourself a brand spanking new starting left tackle. I don't know what the free agency market looks like, but
we got a left tackle up in Baltimore. Ronnie Stanley. I mean, he had a good year, and he was soft as Cottonelle, Louis T. I called him soft as Cottonelle.
All right, look,
you don't want Ronnie.
Ronnie Stanley. I'm a Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan. It was a really good prospect, but between injuries and just I'm not the biggest Ronnie Stanley fan. I'll just say that.
All right, we don't blame you, brother.
I just was saying, I got you.
I don't blame you. Please don't be.
So
do you like your D coordinator going to Cincinnati? And since you're Notre Dame fan, Mr. Golden?
I love Al Golden. I thought he was the reason we were in the national championship game, and I think that's a great hire for Cincinnati. I hate that we're losing him. They made so much of Mike Denbrock coming over from LSU and helping with the development of the quarterback, but I thought it was Al Golden and that defense that really gave us a shot. Was disappointed in the performance against Ohio State, obviously, but when it's all said and done, Al Golden is really good at what he does defensively, and so I'm going to be really fascinated to see what he does with Cincinnati's defense.
Speaking of defense, what's going to happen with Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne? I'm not sure we're going to be able to keep both of them long term. So whatever value, probably Jonathan Allen probably has a little bit more value right now. Do we shop him?
I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of questions. I think if you were to tell me there would be a trade this offseason involving the Commanders, non-draft related in terms of like just straight up draft capital, right? If you're talking about a player, maybe for some draft picks or something along those lines, or for another player, I would tell you it would be one of those defensive tackles. Allen, because of the nature of his contract, only having 1 year remaining on that deal, would be the guy that would make the most sense to trade. Payne still has 2 years left. I think that Allen played well down the stretch coming back from the injury, but Deron Payne has been the one that has been probably the more disappointing of the two because of his upside. Like, I wasn't the biggest Deron Payne fan when we drafted him. If you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you know this. But he won me over in 2022 with that, massive season. And I thought that he had figured it out and that there was more of that to come. And that was literally the definition of a contract year season where you ball out to get paid, and then he went back to being the Deron Payne that we saw before that. And that's been pretty disappointing to say the least. I thought he was one of those dudes that was in the conversation with the likes of Chris Jones and Quinnen Williams and Vita Vea and Dexter Lawrence and some of these dudes that you just know year in, year out. You know what you're getting, and you know they're going to be one of the best in the league. And that's just not the case. It's just not the case.
Outside of the Philadelphia Eagles, are there any other teams that you're concerned about in the NFC?
Not really. I mean, here's the thing. The NFL is a week-to-week league. It's a year-to-year league. So right now, no, but I think Michael Penix is going to be really good. So what does that mean for Atlanta? You know what I mean? Like, they could end up being really good moving forward. I know Baker and the Bucs just lost their offensive coordinator again, but we'll see what this next guy that comes in there does and if he'll be able to get them to play well again. I look around at the conference as a whole and I say, who scares you? And there aren't many teams that have elite quarterbacks. All the elite quarterbacks are on the other side of the bracket. So if you can just get that roster where it needs to be, we'll see what San Francisco does when they get healthy. They have a ton of injuries. We know that's a good team when healthy. And obviously Detroit, lost both of their coordinators, but that's a really good football team. But I always have reservations about them because they still got Jared Goff at quarterback, right? So I think there are some good teams on this side of the bracket, but none that should, cause fear outside of Philadelphia.
What's up, Raven C? I was going to ask a question. Judging by how you finished strong, and the job that Magic Johnson has added to your franchise,
do the smile for him.
Yes, the Magic Johnson smile. Judging by the success that y'all have had in your first year, what do you expect going into next year? What wide receiver would you like, to pair with Scary Terry?
So, like I said, T. Higgins is the guy that I've got circled. I mean, I don't know if he's going to end up in Washington or not, but I call it the Jaden Daniels effect. And when you have a guy as talented as Jaden Daniels is, and he took the league by storm this year, he was must-see TV. I've already told the fan base, prepare yourself, because life as you know it as a fan is going to change significantly, because we have now got one of those guys that could be a face of the league along with Patrick Mahomes. And so expect 5 primetime games, expect another game on some, random day of the year like Thanksgiving or Black Friday or Christmas or Saturday late in the season. So expect 6 games to be on primetime for this team, 2 on Sunday night, 2 on Monday night, a Thursday, and probably another Thursday somewhere along the line.
Hear that, Cravanta?
It's going to be a lot of 425 games where you're not playing at 1 o'clock anymore. You're playing the America's game of the week against Dallas or Philadelphia. We play the Lions, the Chiefs, the Chargers. Like, they're going to be the Bears again. Like, they're going to be a lot of games that they're going to feature this team in some primetime spots. Obviously, we played Bo Nix in the Broncos, so those two were in the same draft class, so they're going to try to make that a thing. That's probably going to be another 425 game. So a lot of changes that are coming, and it's all because of Jaden Daniels, and I think he's going to help recruit players to Washington, whereas before, Washington, they weren't paying. That wasn't a destination you were really interested in. Now, all of a sudden, Washington is one of those places where players are going to flock to, want to play with Jaden Daniels because they know they're going to have a shot to win. And if you're a receiver, why wouldn't you want to play with one of the best quarterbacks in the league? And in a conference where there isn't Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, et cetera, CJ Stroud, it's just Jaden Daniels over there for the most part. Now we'll see if some of these other young quarterbacks step up. But, Matthew Stafford, if you want to throw Jared Goff in there, knock yourself out. Like, it's not a lot on that side of the bracket. So we'll see. T. Higgins is a guy that I fancy. I think that's the guy that gives us something that we really don't have right now, size. A guy that can run, can high point the football, make plays, strong hands. Jaden Daniels loved throwing to Noah Brown, who is a bigger target, similar to T. Higgins. But Higgins is the next level. And so that's the guy that I think could pair with, Terry McLaurin and really make a dangerous 1-2 punch for the Commanders.
And I actually, brother T.
Commanders.
Go ahead.
When are you guys changing the name, man?
I don't think it's happening.
You don't think this?
It's not happening, Dre. They just made an NFC Championship game.
Right.
I don't think it's happening. I really think that they've done a great job of like telling the fans, look, we got other pressing needs to, like, I don't think they love the name, the Harris, family. I don't think they love the name, but I don't think they're interested in changing it either, because like what a lot of people fail to realize, it costs a lot of money to change the name of the team, because you have to change everything. People think about, oh, well, you're going to sell new jerseys, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, all this new marketing, but you got to tear everything down. I think if you were going to change the name, you would probably want to do it once you get a new stadium, because I remember when we changed the name the last time from Redskins to the football team, and then from the football team to the Commanders, they had to tear all of the stuff down in the stadium, all the stuff down inside the stadium. So all that stuff costs money. And I think it was like $20 million worth of like, renovations to just get everything to be in line with the new branding. And it's expensive to change the name of your team. So I don't think they're really interested in that right now. Maybe down the road they might, but once you get into a new stadium and you've got all the imaging that says Commanders, you're not looking to change that stuff. So if they were going,
and how will we play this wonderful song?
Those haters can't stand us. Left hand up. Commanders. We fight for RDC. Who are we?
That's a no. That's a thumbs down, brother
Every
Louis T.
week. Louis, every week, man.
That's a thumbs
Every
down.
week.
Okay. Hey, you family, brother. You ain't gotta be. You can tell us you don't like it. You're family. You've been here before. You ain't gotta
Every
be
week.
nice. You can tell us you don't like it. It's okay.
Every week, yo.
Song is terrible, man.
Every week.
I don't claim it. That's for damn sure. I don't claim it.
Well, can I ask you something? One of our wonderful viewers brought up Miss Swift. We've seen it in 2019. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense dominate the league. One of the greatest rushing attacks ever. Year 2, teams adjusted a little bit. How do you see Jaden Daniels going into year 2? Because we saw CJ Stroud take a little bit of a step back. What can be done to prevent that? I love what Cliff Kingsbury has done. Me and Cravante have been huge Cliff Kingsbury fans since his days in Arizona. He's staying. I think that's great, the synergy there. What do you think about Jaden Daniels in year 2? And what would you like to see him improve on as a Commanders fan?
I'm not really concerned about him, like the league catching up to him or anything. He's special. Like the problem with Lamar back in 2019 was he wasn't a great passer then. Like Lamar has evolved so much as a passer. Like this year, 41 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. Like we saw Lamar evolve in that regard. In 2019, he was so dynamic with his legs, but he had yet to really evolve as a passer. I think it was the opposite for CJ Stroud last year. CJ does not like to run, and he can. That's the crazy part about CJ Stroud. When he's at his best, when he's his most dangerous, is when he's willing to run. You saw in the playoff game against the Chargers, he was struggling early, and then he started to run, and he had success. The Chiefs game the following week, he used his legs. He got a little banged up, but he used his legs, and that's what kept them in that ball game. Jaden can run, but he is just as dynamic a passer from the pocket as he is a runner with his legs. So I don't think there's really like you can defend him, and if you got like the Eagles have a really good defense and they're disciplined and they're sound in what they do, but even he still was able to move the ball successfully against them. If not for the fumbles, I think that they would have been in that football game, because both of those drives that they fumbled on, they were moving the football. They were having success. So I just think he's such a dynamic playmaker that I don't think that he's going to have a drop off next year. I look at him more in that Patrick Mahomes type vein where, he's just going to continue to ascend. And as far as what I look for next year in terms of what he can improve upon, I think he has to threaten the line of scrimmage as a runner, but still look to be a passer a little bit more. I think there is value in using the little pump fake, even though if you have no intentions of throwing a ball as a runner. Defenders are dumb. A lot of times they'll jump in the air and go for that. And I think he can utilize that, like just add little subtleties and nuances to his game. So I think something else that I would love to see him implement a little bit more is threaten the line of scrimmage with your legs, get defenders to suck up, and then find your receivers. And that'll open up some big plays as well. But he did such a really good job. And then, I know this is minor and it's dumb, but he took a lot of sacks running out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. We would even debate, well, is he trying to protect his completion percentage stats, or I don't know. But just throw the ball away. You know what I mean? Like, don't take a loss of 1 or a loss of 2 when you can just throw the ball out of bounds, right? These are things that I think he can continue to improve upon. But I mean, he's so good so early. Like, he set just about every rookie quarterback record you could imagine. And I don't think that was on accident. I think this dude is legit. He's the real deal. And the schedule's supposed to be tough next year because of the divisions we're playing. We're playing the NFC North and the AFC West. So we'll find out, just how good he is next year, because it's going to be a lot of tough teams on the schedule.
You said about what he did this season. How do you feel him, and along with the other people got drafted with him, how do you feel they all did this season?
So the draft class was really good. It was impactful. You're going to look for more from some of the guys, moving forward. But obviously, Jaden was your first round pick. Phenomenal rookie season. Took the team to the NFC Championship game. Mike Sainristil was phenomenal, as a second round pick corner that we asked to play on the outside. We drafted him to be a slot and a nickel, and he ends up having to play outside and was fantastic for us this year. So you feel really good about him. A lot of people were down on Ben Sinnott because they spent the second round pick on him. He really, didn't play a ton this season. And, when he did play, he was really in a blocker role, almost like a H-back, sort of fullback type role. And a lot of people weren't happy that they spent a, second round pick on a guy like that. But I think his role is going to continue to increase. I said that they valued him in San Francisco. Our GM came from San Francisco, and they see him as like a Kyle Juszczyk kind of guy. And they value Kyle Juszczyk in San Francisco. And so a lot of fans don't want to hear that you spent a second round pick on Kyle Juszczyk. But if he turns out to be as valuable as Juszczyk is in San Francisco, it'll be worth it. Johnny Newton, I think we need to see more from him. I wasn't blown away by him, but he dealt with a offseason surgery last year that kind of hampered him throughout camp. And, so maybe a full offseason, fully healthy, where he can just work on his game. Maybe he'll come back and be the Johnny Newton that we drafted him to be next year. Luke McCaffrey, again, only his third year playing the wide receiver position. So I think he's going to continue to grow, and I think he'll be able to contribute a little bit more next year. Brandon Coleman started, I would say, probably like 9 games this year. They were doing this weird platooning thing with him and Cornelius Lucas for the first half of the season. And then Cole Luke got injured, and it forced them to thrust Brandon Coleman into the starting lineup, and they just left him there after that. It was a mixed bag. I wasn't a big fan of his at left tackle, but you could do a hell of a lot worse than him. But he can, I think, be a more effective guard where there's less space that he has to maneuver with. And that's why I've been adamant that we need a left tackle. But he was really solid. I think he's going to be a good player for us. And then one more guy that, Javonte John Baptiste was a 7th round pick that I wasn't expecting a ton out of. He actually surprised me. He played well and did contribute this season a little bit. The guy that I think we didn't see a lot of this year that I think is going to end up having a major impact on his team if he can stay healthy, which he did not do this year, is Jordan McGee at the linebacker position. He was coming on at the end of the season. You were seeing him get more comfortable. He was coming downhill as a tackler. I think he was really going to help this run defense immensely. And then he got hurt again and ended his season. So that's another guy that I think can be really good from this draft class. But, when you look at it as a whole, I thought it was an impactful, obviously with Jaden Daniels headlining a rookie class. And I look for them to get even better next year when some of the guys that they drafted who didn't really have massive roles continue to grow within the scheme and what they're going to ask them to do in year 2.
What do you think about this draft? Real quick, brother Louis T, as we get ready for it. I don't love it. I don't love it.
I can't really tell you much about it because I was focused on New Orleans. I thought we was going to the Super Bowl, so I ain't even gonna hold you.
So did the brother up there above me. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
So I can't even hold. I ain't gonna be holding.
If I could give my 2 cents from my amateur point of view, the strength is defense. From what I'm seeing, a lot of defensive linemen, a lot of pass rushers. So if you need a front 7 guy, just putting a bug in your ear, Commanders, Ravens, whomever your team is, a lot of defensive guys in this draft. That's what I'm seeing.
Well, we definitely could use
an
edge rusher for sure. So, yeah, so that sounds good to me. But I haven't studied the draft yet. You give me about a month and a half, and I'll be able to talk shop with you about the draft. But
I'll hold you to that.
Yeah, I haven't been able to look at the prospects yet because I was solely focused on making it to the Super Bowl. I thought we was going to the Super Bowl up until about 5:30 yesterday. I thought we was going to the Super Bowl. So you couldn't tell me nothing.
I just have one comment, and I want you to react and respond to it. One thing I saw change. I saw Adam Peters on the sideline hugging all the players. And I think that's a good sign for this in the direction that this organization is going in, because it wasn't that with Dan Snyder.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they want to be here and they want you here, and you're valued and you're appreciated. We have an amazing season, but we value you as a player and as a person. And I feel that. I think that's very important moving forward and completely night and day from what we had prior.
Right. Without question. I mean, I think a lot of us were amazed at the care of this group when Austin Eckler got a concussion the first time against Cincinnati. Adam Peters reached out to his family and told them that Eckler was okay. And we got wind of it as fans, and we were like, whoa, like that's different. You know, we've never had front office personnel do that for players here in Washington. You know, the only time that something like that occurred was when it was like a major star, right? You know, and so Eckler even said afterwards, like, he's never had another organization do that for him either, where the general manager comes down into the training room and checks on you and then gives your family an update. Because I know people don't really think about, fans don't think about this, but you know, guy gets hurt, you know, and your family's watching, they're not there. They don't know how severe it is, or they don't know what's going on. So to have the general manager reach out to you personally and let your family know, hey, your son or your brother or your whomever, he's fine. He's going to be okay. It speaks volumes about the care of this franchise. And you see it after these games. They're waiting for these guys as they're going into the locker room, right? You know, we saw clips of Terry walking in the locker room and hugging AP and Ian and some of these other guys that are, you know, part owners. We saw him after the Bucks win with Magic Johnson. And so it's just it's night and day different now. It's an organization that people want to be a part of. And I don't think we thought we would ever be having these conversations, especially, you know, 3 years ago. We didn't think we would be here where we're sitting at right now, talking about this and having these type of conversations.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It is. It is, without question.
Yeah, man. Louis T, man, I appreciate you, man, doing the good times and the bad times.
Doing God's work, brother.
Yes, you by yourself, man.
Yeah.
And you know, and we all behind you, man, supporting you, man, because it's tough to get up on that mic by yourself after a loss. It's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a lot of practice with this organization. Had a lot of practice, so they made me a seasoned veteran at that. Right. This is the stuff that's new right here. Going to an NFC Championship game and winning playoff games and being relevant. This is all new because I had the losing part down pat. Right, come after a loss and talk, and like people always say, man, thank you for being our therapist, you know, or psychiatrist or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, y'all don't know that y'all are therapy for me. Y'all are therapeutic for me because, you know, y'all are allowing me to get this off my chest. Because as a man, a wise man once said, man, I care about this, man. This means something to me, man. And so it means something to me, man. And I'm glad I get to share it with y'all, man. So I really appreciate y'all. And let me say something. Y'all was having a discussion. I was listening backstage.
Yes.
No, I don't watch wrestling, but I did as a kid. I was a massive wrestling fan growing up. It's funny. I was talking to one of my guys, Bad Dog. He was doing a 24-hour stream, and we was talking about wrestling heavy for like an hour and a half. I jumped on with him and, you know, ate up a little bit of the block. He was doing a 24-hour stream for a cause. And we literally was just talking wrestling for like an hour and 30 minutes. Big wrestling fan growing up, but nah, you couldn't pay me to watch wrestling now.
Hey man, look now, wrestling is back.
Just to ask real quick, what was your era What was it? The 90s, early 2000s?
Yeah, no, I was a '90s guy. I mean, I think I might have touched the early 2000s, but I was that. I was the early '90s to mid '90s into that Attitude era, right?
Okay.
I was big on the NWO, WCW Nitro, Raw Wars, right?
Yep.
I was big and heavy into that, but I got hooked in the early '90s, and then was all the way up until probably that Attitude era, and I think that's where I got dropped off right around probably when The Rock hit his apex is probably when I got off the bus right there.
Okay.
Really? Wow.
That's kind of wild. I thought you was gonna say after like 2003 when I left.
Yeah. Once Rock left, Austin started leaving.
So it was like right before that. Like I think it might have just got a lot. It became a lot for me because I came from an era of wrestling where you didn't know if it was fake or not, right? Like they were perpetuating that for a long time, and I mean even the crossover with Scott Hall, who was my favorite wrestler when he was Razor Ramon, and he went
the bad guy, yeah,
right. He went to WCW, and it was portrayed as a takeover, right? Like the WWF was sending their wrestlers to WCW to take over, right? And so we didn't even know that wasn't real at the time, right?
You're
Because
right.
they were going back and forth, right? So they did a really good job in those days of kind of making it seem real. And then once you got away from that and we got more to it being like a male soap opera, I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm out. So, but yeah, I was a big wrestling fan. I used to beg my parents to buy, like, everybody knows the big pay-per-views. Like the SummerSlam in August and
King of the Ring
in June. Like I knew all of them, right? Let's see if I can name all the big ones still. Royal Rumble was in January.
Yep.
Let's go in order. So they had the house shows in certain months. So February I think February was a house show, if I'm not mistaken. Like In Your House was my era was In Your House.
Yep.
Yep. So then you would go to March, obviously was SummerSlam. I mean, was obviously WrestleMania. Then you had April was another In Your House, if I'm not mistaken. Then in May, I think that was also In Your House because June was King of the Ring.
Okay.
Yep.
July was In Your House because August was SummerSlam.
Correct.
Survivor Series was September, if I'm not mistaken. That might be November.
Yeah,
Survivor Series.
You might want to go with the letter, brother. Go with the letter.
So, think was there one in September? I feel like there was one in September that was pretty big.
So you're. I'll help you out a little bit. You're in your house. They had them. And nothing really got big until about November.
Yeah. So it
Survivor Series.
So it was Survivor Series in November. Because October, that was In Your House too. And then
and WCW used to have Halloween Havoc.
They had Halloween Havoc. They had World War. I think did they call it World War III?
I think so.
I think they call it with the 3 rings, right?
Yeah.
They had like Starcade and
Starcade,
Bash at the Beach,
and that was that was WCW's big one with Starcade.
Yeah, they had all of those ones too. I wasn't I watched WCW and I knew about that, but I wasn't begging my parents to buy WCW pay-per-views. I was begging my parents to buy the WWF pay-per-views. Like, please. So yeah, I was a massive wrestling fan growing up, man.
Oh man, I wish you still would have kept some of that. I mean, I get it. I was too, and sometimes you grow out of it a little bit, but you keep up with it just a little bit, but not totally.
I totally was like, okay, I'm done. I'm out. I'm out.
I just told Karante I had a friend of mine similar to you. He was watching it. fell off, and then last year we went to WrestleMania, and now he's hooked. He's like, man, when we going back? Yeah, well, he don't know about this year with those ticket prices, but
Yeah. Yeah.
but he definitely wants to go back. He had a ball.
Yeah. I mean, look, there is no way you could get me to like wrestling again. I can tell you that right now. I don't even know if I like. So I think something that I saw here recently was that like women's wrestling is big again. Like when I was growing up, it got big for like a small period with like Alondra Blaze and Bertha Faye and like
Jeez, you took it back.
Yeah, look, man, I told you I was a big fan back in the day, bro. Like,
back in the day.
I used to watch wrestling heavy, man.
Sonny, Sonny.
Sonny, that's right. Yeah, Sable, Jacqueline, yep.
Oh my gosh, yes, Jacqueline.
They had a moment, a little era there where that woman's title meant something for a little while, but it seems like it's really big now. Like,
it's
a big deal. Like they almost headlining shows. It's crazy. It was never that big back in the day. You were never gonna see a women's title match as a co-lead or nothing like that. And I'm seeing some of these women, and I'm like, oh, she's pretty big, I guess. You know,
they killing it, man. They killing it right now.
Yeah,
women are actually doing better than the men.
I wouldn't be surprised. That's part of the reason why I don't know how the brand is surviving like it is, because I don't really know if there's I was assuming that what's his face?
Triple H.
John Cena.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the next big guy, but he kind of he was huge, but he's doing a Rock thing now. He's crossing over to being an actor now, so he's not doing the wrestling thing as much. So I felt like they lost a lot. Even I think Roman Reigns was trying to do the acting thing too, right? Trying to cross over and become a little bit of an actor too, using that platform to give them another avenue to get out and become an actor. But I think I see a lot of the wrestlers now trying to emulate what The Rock was able to do, which is use it as a platform to become a big star elsewhere. And that's not what wrestling was, when I was growing up.
Well, I mean, Hulk Hogan did it before.
Hogan did it. He was the one that kind of set the template, but he was such a mega star, right? Like he was ridiculous. I mean, eat your vitamins. I mean, he was everywhere, bro. These dudes, and again, I might be selling some of these dudes short. Again, I don't watch it I don't watch it at all. So I can't tell you how big John Cena was. I'm pretty sure he was pretty big. Right? Oh, yeah. He was massive, because I felt like after The Rock, he was the guy that got passed the torch. That's my guess. I could be wrong about that.
No, you're correct.
He did. So, Rock passed the torch to him.
Yeah, and it felt like, so again, I think that might be why they're struggling. They don't have another dude that,
Oh no,
trust me, they're not struggling
at all right now. Bro.
They're not struggling at all. They're making way more money than they ever made in their entire
stadiums now. Like, and Rock came back actually. Cena's about to retire.
Okay.
Roman Reigns, we don't know what we're getting with him, but Cody Rhodes is now the guy.
Yeah, I thought I saw that he was the guy, and I'm like,
I would say this. I know you're not a fan. I know you're not a fan anymore, but I would give it just a look. I would give it a look.
You wasting your breath. Just telling you right now, I would never watch wrestling again, man. I had a blast when I was a kid, but I wouldn't. I just know I'm not. I wouldn't invest the time that it took to be a wrestling fan. How often does it come on now? Because I remember when I used to watch, it was on USA. Is it on Netflix now?
Yeah, they just moved them.
You keeping up with it?
No, but you hear, like, I don't live under a rock, right? Like I hear when changes are being made, because they're big changes. Like from them going from a network to a streaming platform. Like I know maybe like 5-6 years ago, like Vince created like this like major network. Like they had their own streaming platform. I don't know if it did well or not, but obviously they're on Netflix now, so I would think that it didn't do as good as he would have liked it to.
I think it was one of those things that was just kind of ahead of its time,
Mm.
because now you see like other networks kind of emulating what he did. So I think he was just like a little bit before his time, because you had like Major League Baseball try it at one point,
Mhm.
and now you're just seeing everybody kind of like get with another streaming
Mhm.
service and propelling. Like WWE has it with a partnership with Peacock, but
Mhm.
also with Netflix.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of like document because they got a lot of stuff on Peacock,
Mhm.
a lot of content. But I just look at like some of the old stuff, and little documentaries about some of the old wrestlers that I grew up watching. But yeah, none of the new stuff interests me. I will ask y'all this though, like how is excuse me, is it called AEW? Is that what
Yeah.
it's called?
Yeah.
How is that doing? Is that is that Chris Jericho?
You don't have the
Is that him?
time. You don't. Yes, but you don't have the time.
Okay. All right.
You would hate.
Just
look,
imagine. All right, look. The 91 Commanders turned into what you went through before this year's Commanders. That's AEW.
Yeah, and we
Oh,
live
wow.
stream it every Wednesday, man, and it's a struggle.
Wow.
So
yeah,
think of
it
how high the
started off great,
Commanders
though. It
were in
started off
91.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Think about how great y'all were in the 90s with Doug Williams, Joe
Yeah.
Gibbs, and those great players, John Riggins. You want to go back even further? How much invested the city was,
Yeah.
and then it just slowly start dipping. Terrible ownership, terrible management, terrible decisions, business decisions, and then they're just there now.
Oh wow. So that's their state.
They're kind of becoming WCW in 2000, if you remember that.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask you. I mean, can anybody actually compete? Because it always felt like the WWF had,
No.
or WWE now
No.
had a monopoly.
Bro,
AEW
it's
had
over.
They do.
AEW had,
And they just
had a
basically
nice
bought
run.
TNA without buying TNA.
Yeah,
It's
they
over.
had a nice little run, but it just
Yeah.
That's generally how it goes. You start out with a little bit of juice, and then remember ECW, right?
Yep.
Started out with a
Yeah.
little bit of juice at the beginning, and then it was like, yeah. And then Vince was like, all right, let me just get all of y'all. Y'all come on over here and I'll buy
Well,
it.
you're a football fan. You know the Cons own the Jaguars. Just look at the Jaguars. That's what AEW is. Siberia.
no.
Gotcha.
Right, that's the best way to put it, because you watch
Enough-
football. You know the
Enough
Cons.
said. Enough
And to
said.
give you some context too, Rock is on the board. Triple H is the COO.
Mm.
So they're the two
Shawn
like
Michaels
really
is
and
in
Shawn,
charge of
yeah, you're
NXT.
right. Shawn Michaels is helping with talent. So those are like the three guys really running the whole thing.
You talking about WWE?
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh,
All the 90 stars that you watched
Yeah.
is running the show, literally.
Good. I know like some of them have like podcasts, like Taker has a podcast,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
some of the other dudes have like
Stone Cold.
yeah, he got a podcast.
Kevin
and,
Nash, Eric
yep,
Bischoff.
he got one. Yep. I think Jim Cornette used to do one.
Oh my gosh, Cornette's
He
probably
still does one.
something we love here.
Yeah. So Jim's crazy, man. I love Jim.
Very crazy.
Jim's crazy. So yeah, I mean, he got stories to tell for days, but
We appreciate it, Brother Louis.
yeah, man, I appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Real quick, who wins the Super Bowl? And let the people know what you got cooking up on your channel as you head into the Commanders offseason, my brother.
Man, I hate to say this. I think the Eagles gonna win the Super Bowl, man.
Really?
I really. So this is well. So it has nothing to do with like on the field. It takes me back to 2017 because I think most people can't stand the Eagles. Like even if you're not an NFC East fan, the Eagles. The fans are nasty. There's nothing exciting about the Eagles. Like, okay, they got Jalen Hurts, cool. He's meh, right? Saquon's cool, and he's doing, had a hell of a season. AJ Brown's a diva, reading books on the sidelines. Like, they're an easy team to not like, but they're playing against a team that's trying to attempt a three-peat for the first time, like a team actually winning 3 Super Bowls in a row. No team has actually made it to the Super Bowl with a chance to win 3 in a row, and the Chiefs can do it. And I think you're getting to a point where fans are fatigued. They don't want to see Kansas City win another Super Bowl. And that's how it was when they won the Super Bowl in 2017 against the Patriots. People were rooting for the Eagles to win simply because they were tired of seeing the Patriots win the Super Bowl. And I think you may see that again this year. Like, yo, I'm sick of the Patriots. I'm sick of the Chiefs winning. I hate Philadelphia, but I just don't want them to win the Super Bowl. Like, I don't want the Chiefs to win another Super Bowl. I hope I'm wrong, but it feels a lot like 2017 from that standpoint. And the Chiefs have gotten by a lot this season.
Mhm.
You know, like this game against Buffalo was the first time they've scored over 30 points all season long, right?
Yep.
I hope they can stop Saquon. Like, their run defense has been solid this season. It hasn't been like great, but it's been okay. I know their secondary can, you know, frustrate Hurts, and they could probably get pressure on him and, you know, force him into some mistakes. But can they stop Saquon? I'm not sure. And then can Mahomes, and they got enough weapons offensively to do some things on offense, but man, this is giving me 2017 vibes. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I hope I'm wrong. I want the Chiefs to win so bad. I'm the biggest Chiefs fan this week. Please, Kansas City, please. But
I'm with you. I'm with you, Louis T. I'm with you because these Eagles fans, man, as you can see in the chat, are extremely goofy.
First of all, Philadelphia.
They go one of them right there. Yeah. They go one of them right there, Bum Anders. Yeah, he's the clown of all clowns, right? He's a massive clown.
Philly's a great city. Love Philadelphia.
That fan base is ridiculous.
They're having a party like they won the Super Bowl. I mean, y'all got to beat the Chiefs though.
They confident, but
clearly,
I just
your word is not mine. I didn't say Philadelphia was a great city.
It's a nice city to visit. It's a nice city to visit.
I said it's a great city.
Yeah, I was gonna say your word is not mine.
No, I'll say it. Everybody knows I love Philly. I don't know.
He is crazy.
Oh man, this is good, man.
Wow.
Let them know your channel, what you got working on, Louis T, brother. They go there.
So y'all can find me over at the Louis T Network. And that's on all platforms. Just type in Louis T Network, X, on IG. You'll find me on YouTube. You want to find my podcast, type in Louis T Network. You'll find it there as well. Like I said, anytime there's a primetime game, you'll find me. I do my podcast, twice a week. If time permits, 3 times a week. And so, yeah, man, I mean, I'm about to hit the free agency thing and the draft, hit the ground running there now that, the Commander season is officially over. So I'll be obviously live for the Super Bowl, and then we'll turn our attention to the off season and get rolling.
One more time, everybody, put your hands together. Show some love for Flex Zone Family's own Louis T of the Louis T Network.
Appreciate you.
Louis T, we appreciate you, brother, coming on short notice. Yep. And let's do this again, maybe around draft time. Let's get your perspective on the draft after you watch some tape and see what happens with your boy T. Higgins as well and free agency.
Hopefully he'll be a Commander by the next time we talk. Sounds good, man.
Yes, sir. We appreciate it, brother, man. Thank you for staying up late with us, man. We really appreciate it.
Man. You deserve this. You deserve this. I deserve this. We deserve this.
Yes, we do. Absolutely. Nobody deserves it more than us.
Nobody.
Appreciate you, brother T. We appreciate it. We'll be watching and we'll be talking to you real soon. And hopefully you are a little wrong with the Super Bowl prediction. But
I hope so too. Trust me, I don't want to be right. I don't want to be right.
The man knows the stuff, like he said. He watches all sports. He talks about it. Once again, the man himself, Louis T, everybody. Appreciate you, Louis. Hey, we're going to clip this interview and send it to you, brother, for your records, man. We appreciate you, man. We'll put it out for you tomorrow and send you a copy, my guy.
Hey, appreciate you. Take care.
Yes, sir. We'll do it again real soon. Once again, everybody, give it up for Louis T in the Flex Zone building. Appreciate him staying up late with us as he returned back to the Flex Zone. Like I said, we can't thank him enough for making time out of his busy schedule and joining us for brothers up here. Let's go real quick.
I'll be right back, gentlemen.
All right, Drizzy Dre's about to dip off.
We can kind of abbreviate it from here.
Yeah, I mean, we can just kind of look at I wanted to touch on, I guess, the initial thoughts of the Super Bowl. We don't have to give our predictions yet. We can save that for next week, obviously. Raj, how you feeling about the Super Bowl, man? We saw both championship games. If you want to touch on those a little bit, we kind of talked about it throughout all these streams this weekend. But What are you looking forward to with the Super Bowl? Halftime, commercials? I know we talked about previews you want to see. I mean, the game.
I want to see. Well, for the commercial part, I want to see. Well, they pretty much got all the Captain America commercials out, so that's nice and all. I want to see another Daredevil trailer. I would love to see that. Hopefully, we get to see the Thunderbolts trailer. That might be Super Bowl weekend. Some new Doritos trailers, of course. You know, the Doritos love to do that thing. Maybe another Superman trailer. Maybe a teaser for the Fantastic Four. And of course, you know, we're going to see, you know, a Bud Light commercial or something like that, of course. And maybe some special commercial from, you know, the what is it, the Jesus commercial? You know, those little Jesus commercials.
Oh, he gets us.
Yeah, he gets us. Yeah, there you go. Those things. But yeah, those are the commercials. But as far as the Super Bowl performance, I want to see what Kendrick does. I want to see how he's gonna, you know, get the audience going. Everybody says it's going to be boring. It's not going to be fun or good. I disagree. I think he's going to put on a hell of a show, and especially if SZA is there. You know, I can't wait to see her. Maybe you might see Taylor Swift. You never know. They do have a song together, so keep that in mind. Since she'll be at the Super Bowl, of course, so you might see that. And also, he might have another special guest. So hopefully we will see. But can't wait to see what that brother does. As far as the game goes, I just hope it's a good game like it was last time when the two teams played. Jalen Hurts played his ass off. He played great. Of course, Patrick Mahomes was playing great as well. And I just hope it's not a blowout. I hope it's a good game. And I hope it's a lot of fun, man, because Super Bowl Sunday, even though our team doesn't play on Super Bowl Sunday, it's still a fun weekend and it's still a fun game to watch. So I'm just hoping for a good time. I'm hoping for, you know, to send football off the right way for the next 6 to 7 months till it comes back again. Hopefully it's a great game.
Cravante?
Commercials, man. Haven't seen any good commercials in a while because we on streaming services now, and it's a bunch of ads. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really watched any real TV.
Why is Shantae looking at you like that?
Is that what she's doing? Oh. She changed her picture. You better go ahead, girl. So I'm looking forward to commercials. Hopefully we get some entertainment out of them. I'm really excited for the halftime show. Kendrick Lamar, Taylor, I almost said Taylor Swift, Jesus. Kendrick Lamar, SZA, and whoever else, you know, happens to maybe make an appearance. Very, very excited, especially after the Drake goofiness, with him dropping a lawsuit and doing a defamation of character lawsuits. Like, what are we doing? Are you serious? Whatever, man. You're just proving Kendrick right more and more every day. And the game, hey man, I said the Chiefs going to 3-peat, and they're here. So I'm going to rock with that. But Roger's right. We need a good game. When the Super Bowl is trash, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth going into the off season. So we do want it to be a good game. Y'all know me. I'm be betting my butt off. I'm be on all the crazy bets and betting on the coin flip and all that mess. We trying to come up. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be fun. I definitely look forward to it. It's gonna be sad, bittersweet, because like the Super Bowl is a great event, the greatest one-day event ever. And but then it's gonna be over. It's gonna be over. But you know, we don't stop. Because that sounds like free agency and draft time, ain't that right, Byron?
Yes, it does.
So yeah, so I'm definitely rooting for history, right here for the 3-peat. But Jalen Hurts and the Eagles deserve to be here. But I just feel like we know how the Chiefs been this year, the refs and all that mess that comes along with it. It's gonna be a lot to overcome for the Eagles. That is.
Yeah, we will give our official predictions next week for the Super Bowl. We do have a week in between. You get the Pro Bowl this week, everybody. Flag football. Who's excited for that? Cravante? No? Raj? No, okay.
I mean, we do got 9 Pro Bowlers, so I mean, I'm just saying, you know.
I guess that's something. Real quick,
got a
Ravens note. Ravens note. Your boy, Todd Monken. What you call him, Raj? Todd.
Tottery? No. This is what Nitro calls him.
Yes.
Tottery Monken. Yes.
He's getting a contract extension. I told you when he became the offensive coordinator, you would love this brother. 3 years later, we're going into year 3. He's still here. He's going to get a contract extension. Probably hardball too, Raj, eventually, when they all go down to Florida and have kumbaya at Steve Bisciotti's mansion. How you feel about this?
I don't mind him coming back. I mean, he did a fantastic job with Lamar. He unlocked him. He, gave him a lot of freedom to do what he wanted to do. And he's audibling now. He's checking out of plays that he doesn't like. He's reading the field very well. His pocket awareness is like on level 10. So he's done a great job as the offensive coordinator for this team. Derrick Henry almost ran for 2,000 yards. I mean, you can't ask, much more for your coordinator to do. So he is great continuity, coming back, especially with a guy like him who's able to unlock the offense. Hopefully they bring some more players in that can help this offense. Outside of Aguilar, maybe they can, squeeze another wide receiver or from the draft or free agency or, another tight end in a draft because, everybody's up for free agency after this year. So hopefully they can find some more talents elsewhere and, maybe take another step, maybe take another level. I mean, I'm not sure, but it's a great move for the Ravens. It gives great continuity, like I said before, going into next season. We already know what we can do offensively. We just got to shore up the offensive line. Maybe with another left tackle, maybe another right tackle, who knows? But it's a great move for the Ravens. It's a good hopefully we take advantage of Todd coming back because, like I said before, if it was somebody else, we had to learn a whole new offense with Lamar, and usually that takes time, like it did the season before in 2023, and we don't want that. So it's a good move. It's a good move, man.
And Cravante, your offensive coordinator looks to be staying as well, like we talked a little bit about having Cliff Kingsbury back. That brother's getting paid from the Cardinals and still coaching Jaden Daniels.
Man, Raj, your boy's rolling in it. He's rolling in it. The cash. Okay. Cliff.
Tottery?
Cliff. No, Cliff.
Uncle Kingsbury. Uncle Cliffy.
He's rolling in it because he's still getting that bag at least till 2027, if I'm not mistaken.
From Arizona?
From Arizona. Mm-hmm.
God damn.
Yeah. So he getting that coordinator money and he getting head coaching money. So it's no rush for him to get back into coaching. And I thought once Ben Johnson got the job with Chicago, I thought that meant he was staying anyway. Because I thought that was his ideal, landing spot. So yeah, he's in the money. So he's going that front, but he's done a hell of a job with Jaden Daniels and his offense doesn't have that many great weapons. You got 2 great players on offense, and we got a little aging Zach Ertz. That's pretty much it. And what the Cliff Kingsbury and his offensive staff has been able to do, amazing, absolutely amazing. So I'm happy with it.
All right, Cravante, let's call a quick audible. Let's go to Goofy's. By the time Dre should be back, we'll close out the show with the game ball, not so game ball, and then we'll put the kids to bed. Sound good?
Yeah, man, we can do that.
I'm sure you got some things that are goofy from this past week. As we do each and every week, I'm sure Cravante is going to tell you all about it. It's time for the call to the one and only Goofster himself, Goofy.
Of course. Something wrong here.
Well, now that's goofy. Jam. Oh, jam. Stupid. Just stupid.
Byron, I find myself just saying that just randomly, like, it's stupid. Just stupid. It's just be in my head, bro. But welcome, good people, to Goofies of the Week, sponsored by the Flex Zone. Appreciate you guys for giving me a little bit of time So let me tell the good people what I thought was goofy this week. Byron, I just sent something to the group chat. I was just okay. Should we do that one first?
Yeah, we could do that for. Yeah, I got you. But I saw it and I started laughing. And I know you do send me stuff throughout the week, a little inside baseball. I do get them. Just sometimes it's hard for me to respond, but I do get them, Cavante. I want you to know I do get them.
Okay,
but I got you. We're ready. We're locked and loaded. I got you.
Okay, so we do.
I'll play it. I'll play it so they can get some context.
Okay, play it.
Well, listen, we've got to do this. Let me hear you all say E-L-G-L-E-S, Eagles. Let's go, Birds. Well, listen, we've got to do this.
One more time. You know what? You know, we got the Philly fans in here, you know. So I think it's only right.
Listen, we've got to do this. Let me hear you all say
Is that an omen, Cravante, of things to come?
I hope so. Because what?
I don't even know why I try anymore. I don't even know.
Is it weird that I'm starting to like this song?
It's a great song, man.
Man, listen. I ain't gonna hold you, man. You know I talk about all levels of goofiness here, man. And this is one of the funnier ones I've had in quite some time. And listen, the Eagles gave us a shellacking. Okay, they gave us a whooping. But goddamn it, y'all Mayor off the hook, man. I don't know if she's from Philadelphia, but that I don't want to go on the Philadelphia public school education or private school education, whatever she might have had. I don't know where she's from. I don't want to just assume that she's from Philadelphia, but I tell you, man, that public school education ain't good everywhere, is it? And again, don't want to assume because she probably didn't even go to public school. Who knows? You know, she probably had a pretty good educational, you know, background. But god damn it, of all times to jack up a crucial spelling that means a great deal to your city, you jacked it up in front of everybody and you was on the microphone. All right, it wasn't an A nowhere in her eagle. Eagles. It was no A's in her eagle. Okay, but I just thought that was funny, so that I could poke a little fun at them, even though they destroyed us. But that's funny. On Abbott, yeah, I like that, Mark. I like that. Shout out to Abbott Elementary. So that's I thought that's just fitting. So I'm gonna jump to Instagram real quick. Are you guys familiar? Oh shit, I might gotta take my virtual off. Are y'all familiar with these two?
Oh, two NFCs.
Is that Des Bryant and who's the other guy?
That's Thibodeau. Thibodeau.
Kayvon from the Giants. So I'm just gonna run through. They've been going back and forth on Instagram, Twitter, quite a bit. And y'all want to know what it's about? Do y'all really want to know what it's about? Nothing. It's about nothing. It's goofy. It's just goofy. Listen, let me tell you something. Yeah, Des Bryant Let me tell you how it started. First of all, Des Bryant has time. Des Bryant has a lot of time. Okay, he has he got a whole lot of time. Okay, yes, X, all that goofiness. He got a lot of time. And now Kayvon Thibodeau has a lot of time too, because the Giants, offseason kind of started kind of early. But let me tell you where it started. Des Bryant tweeted, "The Giants have got to be sick. I don't care what anybody says." Kayvon Thibodeau responds with, "We got the same amount of Super Bowls." Because Des Bryant said Giants, Kayvon felt the need to defend. But the funny thing is, Des Bryant's right. Because the Giants are sick right now. Des Bryant is absolutely right. Kayvon Thibodeau has nothing to defend because his front office is terrible. And what Saquon Barkley is doing. Oh, and guess what? The Super Bowl is his birthday. Did y'all know that? His birthday is February 9th.
Go Google it.
Ain't that something? So I'll read a couple more, but just to give you the gist of it, they're going back and forth about how trash the Giants is. Well, Des Bryant's portion is talking about how trash the Giants is. Kayvon Thibodeau is talking about how trash Des Bryant is. That's the gist of it. But let me read one more. Oh boy. I'm gonna read off a couple tweets from Kayvon Thibodeau. "If Joe called you for workout, I bet you show up." At Des Bryant. "What happened in Green Bay?" Des Bryant. "He waiting."
You got to play the music when you read it, Karanti. You got to play the music for dramatic effect.
Play it. Let's do it. Kayvon to Des Bryant. "Why haven't you retired?" Why haven't you retired? Des Bryant responds, "What is this fool talking about? I've stopped playing football. I don't care about playing football. I'll let you make it. I support athletes and root for you guys. But when organizations do stupid things, I'll keep calling out the things that don't support you. My tweet clearly went over your head. Stop being sensitive. I really don't want to go. I don't really want to keep going back and forth." And that was his response to Kayvon saying, "Why haven't you retired?" LOL. "Do you do this for free?" This Kayvon Thibodeau. LOL. "Do you do this for free? Your time not worth that much." And this will be the last one I read because Des Bryant got time, so it gets kind of lengthy. But I'll read this. Des Bryant. "This is how I know you don't know me. One day we'll rap in person. I'm far off the spectrum. I'm here to put you guys on game. I hate your interpretation of my tweet. I'm done going back and forth. I pray you have a successful career." And that was him responding to, "If Joe call you, you'll show up." What are we doing? What are we doing? Des Bryant, Kayvon, what are we doing? Because Kayvon just wanted smoke. Because Des Bryant just said a blanket statement that happened to be true. And Kayvon, you know how to say hit dogs holler? I think Kayvon was in that hit dog holler category. And he was talking about his organization. He was. But y'all giving up Saquon Barkley the way that y'all did, and Saquon going into the championship, going into the Super Bowl is y'all looking real crazy right now. And Kayvon just decided to take shots at Des Bryant. It is what it is. Very, very goofy back and forth between two rather relevant guys in the NFC East at this moment. Kayvon has a bright future ahead of him, but as long as his team is making front office moves the way they have been lately, he's probably going to stay on the irrelevant side and at the bottom of the cellar, which is what I like. So, and Des Bryant, I don't know what he's doing with his time right now, but he has time, obviously. So, very, very, very goofy. Last thing. I read this from JPA Football. And I'll read this and I quote. Initial conversations between the Saints and Mike McCarthy have not gone well. And people within the organization are not enamored with him. Per Tony Pauline. People have no idea what the New Orleans Saints is going to do in terms of who their head coach will be. How the hell your interview not going well? You've been coaching so long. Like, I'm thinking, okay, you know how we do our interviews for our jobs. Like, NFL is a little bit different. Okay. We go through our regular interview process and all that. In football, it's only 32 jobs. So everybody's very familiar with one another. You know what I'm saying? Like the interview is not the type of interview that we have because we have so many different fields to go into, so many different ways, so many different people to talk to. So it's wider for us. Interviewing for your third, well, I don't know how many jobs he's had, but I'm at least head coaching. This is
head coaching. This would be his third one.
This would be number 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you know how to run a football team. You've been doing it for quite some time. I find it hard to believe that it's not going. How do you just come out and say it's not going well? It's you didn't even say it's okay. It's not going well. Like no, he's not. So it's clear that he's not going to be the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. But I just want to know, what did y'all hear from Mike McCarthy to say this ain't it? And look at the position that y'all are in. But y'all just say Mike McCarthy's not it. I don't know if they asked him a Jerry Jones question or if they asked him an Aaron Rodgers question. He must then answer something the way that they like. But I hope they do a Hard Knocks. Dre, welcome back. I hope they do a Hard Knocks. And we could possibly look at this. Look at the interview process for the Saints during this time to figure out why the hell Mike McCarthy's interview did not go well. You know how much it takes to print that and report that it's not going well? How many times you heard that?
I've never heard that before.
A qualified candidate going for a position that he's had previously at another organization and it not go well. Usually we just hear nothing, right? Usually we just hear nothing. And they'd be like, all right, well, he didn't get it. We've never heard a report that said it's not going well. It's an interview. What do you mean? So anyway, the Saints and Mike McCarthy. I guess Mike McCarthy's not goofy too much in this case, but the New Orleans Saints definitely are. Or maybe he did say something crazy and he is goofy. Who knows?
He probably wanted too much cachet, and they probably like, I mean, the Saints are in the toilet anyway, so.
Yeah, they may be my early pick for first pick next year, Gravante.
Absolutely. Like, it's real bad down there, and they're in cap hell. Their roster isn't great. That's kind of tough. So,
Hey, yo. But shout out to my man Alex for having that Duke up there, man. Duke, we gonna do some things in the tournament. Watch.
Y'all won tonight, Dre. Good win tonight. And y'all got the number 1 pick in the draft, Mr. Flag. Hopefully the Wizards get him. Speaking of ass whoopings tonight. My God.
I don't want him to go to that. Oh, man.
I don't want Mike McCarthy. Better not. But yeah, I want to know what was said. I'm interested because there's nobody
it's gonna come out
that's ever reported like, yeah, this is not going well, which is very weird because usually when it's good, you report it, and when it's not good, you just say it's nothing to report. That's kind of weird. So I'm interested to know what happened, what was said, and if Mike McCarthy was goofy or the Saints being goofy.
Probably the Saints. I don't even think it was coach.
I agree. Definitely agree. But those are my goofies of the week. I'm not sure if it's the Saints or McCarthy or Mike McCarthy. But also, you got to throw the mayor of Philly, in there. And of course, somehow, some way, Des Bryant continues to make himself relevant in football circles, except this time it's against another player who's actually defending the organization. What are we doing? Just goofy. So the mayor of Philadelphia, Kayvon Thibodeau, Des Bryant, or the New Orleans Saints, or Mike McCarthy. Y'all know my line. There's a thin line between goofy and great, and all these folks on the wrong end of it. Got to do better.
Of course. Something wrong here.
Well, now that's goofy. Stupid. Just stupid. Jam. Oh, jam.
Come on now, say it with me. Everybody beats the Wiz.
Drizzy Dre, you got your game ball, not so game ball?
My game ball, I would say, goes to. I gotta give it to Saquon. Saquon that was the difference in the ball game to me. I know there were a lot of turnovers, but Saquon Barkley, there was just no stopping that cat. And then my not so game ball would probably go to the Bills because all Bills fans were talking about is how Mark Andrews had the drop pass, and then look at them. Look at you now.
Big Raj.
My game ball, believe it or not, does go to the Bills fans. For what they did last week when they were donating to Mark Andrews' charity. I learned today that we did the same for Kincaid. We donated to his charity as well, for dropping the football. So, shout out to the Bills fans, that supported Mark Andrews. And also shout out to the ones that, were saying things about Lamar Jackson that was terrible, Shout out to y'all as well. As my good friend Jerry Coleman would say, your team is still a city of losers. So, and it will continue that way for another season. So join that couch with us. We'll watch the Super Bowl together. And guys suck. But anyway, my not so game ball goes to I'm sorry, Cavante, gotta go to the Commanders, man. They caught a mean ass whooping, beat down that they caused themselves. A lot of turnovers. They became the Baltimore Commanders at the wrong time, and hopefully they learn from it. Hopefully they look at the tape all off season, figure out what to do better. Jaden Daniels comes with some more meat on his bones. Hopefully he's in that weight room a little bit, and they come ready to play next year. So, but yeah, that was a mean beating, as D would say, a mean beating. Yes.
Start low and high for the second to last time this season. Cavante baby. Because after this, we only got one more real game left. Not the Pro Bowl.
Right. So one, Raj, you took it. That was my not so game ball. But I'll give it to. It's just a tough one, but I'll give it to Josh Allen. Josh Allen had an opportunity because that's all you ask for, getting the ball last in a big game like that, and you just couldn't quite close the deal. Because we know what happens when Patrick Mahomes get the ball last. We know how they go. But Josh Allen had an opportunity and only down 3, and could not get his team in position to at least tie, and let alone not even close to winning. So and I know we compare Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen a lot. The class of the AFC is Patrick Mahomes. It just is what it is, guys. So that's my not so game ball. My game ball is gonna go to the opposite side of the football. Coach Spags, defensive coordinator Spags. My gosh. What, how he runs the defense, he calls the defense. It's crazy, amazing.
Greatest DC of all time. I've been saying it for 3 years.
Him and Belichick are the two.
He must hold the record for most. Well, if he doesn't hold the record now, he's going to hold the record for like most Super Bowls. Because my gosh, his timing of his blitzes, his fake blitzes, it's crazy. What he did to Josh Allen on that very last play, on that 4th and medium, amazing. A corner blitz? Are we serious? He rolled coverage the other way. What are we talking about? He faked blitz, but then brought the corner, like he dropped the linebacker's back, rolled the coverage to where the corner left, and blitzed the corner? What? But it hit right on the nose. It hit right where it needed to go. On to the Super Bowl. Crazy. Spags is one of the best coordinators, for damn sure, defensive coordinator that we've seen in definitely in the modern day.
Appreciate it. Got your song playing in the background for you, Cravante. Episode 476, Drizzy Dre. We keep moving things along. We're doing it for the ladies next week, as we got Miss Yolanda on.
Yes. Real quick about the conference championship. Byron, you and me went undefeated. Raj, Cravante 1-1. Byron won the playoffs, 11-2. Cravante 8-5. Unc at 7-6, and me at 6-7.
Now he killed us.
Byron, he didn't have a good regular season, but I tell you, man, he snuck in like the Giants and won.
Hey, kids, it's not how you start; it's how you finish.
He finished. Nah, he killed us.
If I didn't pick the Ravens, I might have been undefeated. I'm just saying. What can they expect next week, Dre? As we preview this, we'll give our Super Bowl picks next week.
Yes, Super Bowl. Like you said, we have a very special guest coming on, and that's really going to take it up. I know tonight we didn't get into the WNBA, but they had a big trade, a 3-way trade that just happened.
Talk about
what else?
Kelsey Plum to the Sparks, and Jewel Lloyd to
and a couple of draft picks were in that exchange as well. We had Saturday Night Main Event. We got the Royal Rumble coming up. Our continuous live streams. So that'll probably be the main focus next week. Super Bowl, and then probably a Royal Rumble recap. That's really it until we head into March Madness.
Yeah, we got big week this week. Raj, we got Royal Rumble coverage unmatched on the channel this week. Started tonight or Saturday.
I mean, yeah, I just hate the fact that it's 6:00. Why are we doing Rumbles at 6:00?
Well, because remember that they're on.
I know it's UFC. UFC is coming on, right?
And plus also the time zones too, because they're on Central Time. So, because remember, most pay-per-views. Think about most pay-per-views have started at 7.
Even I hate that too.
Even
WrestleMania
WrestleMania
just started at 8. But it is what it is. But we'll be watching it. We'll be streaming it as always. And yeah, of course, we'll be doing our regular AEW coverage on Wednesdays, SmackDown on Fridays, and of course, we'll do some things during the week as well. So just stay tuned. But yeah, man, this is the end of the football season. Transitioning into more basketball / Orioles because they'll be coming up very soon. As well.
Yeah, spring training. Yes, it's right around the corner.
Yeah, so stay tuned. We'll keep it light. We'll keep it fun as always. That's what we do on this channel.
Cravante will be previewing the Washington Commanders off season. I don't know if we want to do it this week or after the Super Bowl. I guess we'll kind of play it by ear. We'll see what happens.
Sure. I'm cool with doing it after the Super Bowl. Because I gotta get myself together.
You need a week off.
I feel Raj, you said in the chat. I understand how you feel. I understand how you feel, even though
try 7 years of it though.
No, I'm cool. I'd rather not. Let's say that. But to lose like that when you know you didn't put your best foot forward, that hits different.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that. I understand as a team that's finally that's like, yo, I know that wasn't the best. That's not the best. Turn the ball over, like, bro. Nah, bro. We ain't turned the ball over the whole playoffs. They ain't turned the ball over 4 times. What are we doing? 3 fumbles? What the hell?
And like I said, what's the most craziest thing is the rookie played like he had been there before.
And everybody else around
played great.
It was the veterans who were the ones messing up.
Jacking it up. That's my man. But we got our guy, man. And I don't think we're gonna see a huge like sophomore slump. I think he's gonna be all right.
I mean, honestly speaking, even CJ Stroud technically didn't really have a drop off like that because they still won the division and he made it to the playoffs.
Well, he
just statistically,
he got sacked like almost 100 times. That was the problem.
Yeah,
but he made it right back to what he did last year. So I guess in reality, did he drop off?
No, he got back to the divisional round.
He got right back. So it just wasn't as sexy as it was last year.
Yeah.
And Cavante, a couple weeks, we got Raj's favorite part of the year, the Underwear Olympics. So what do you call it, Raj? The what do you call it?
In
February?
No.
In February?
I forgot.
Slave Combine?
Oh, yeah, NFL Slave Combine. Yeah,
I'm out.
Dre, that should be your favorite part, man. You got.
First of all, nothing about other men in drawers is never going to be my
40-yard
favorite
dash.
part. Please never put that.
You got ninjas up there jumping for the football. You see how high they can jump, and all that good stuff, man. All that stuff they used to do back in the 1920s and the 1930s. You know what I'm saying? Even before that, when they would test us all out. Look behind your ears, look behind your teeth, all that good stuff, Dre. You know that. Come on, brother.
Why in the world would I like that? Can you answer that?
Because you and that. Never mind. We're not gonna get into it. We'll leave that alone.
We'll probably do a big pre-combine stream and talk about some of the players in the draft at some point. We'll get creative.
Whatever you said makes no damn sense.
Fleece.
The Fleece Johnson special. Hey, yo, I can't.
And I like you. And I won't you. We gonna do this.
You gonna do this the easy way? But you're gonna get drafted to this organization.
The draft is mine.
Episode 475 in the books. Everybody, show some love once again for Louis T. Appreciate him being here with us. Check out his channel, Louis T Network, as well. All your off-season coverage, not just Commanders, draft, NFL, NBA, and beyond. Show some love to the Flex Zone family member and thank him again for his gracious time. We'll clip that interview. We'll have it out for you tomorrow for your viewing pleasure. Got Rumble match previews. We got AW Wednesday. We got SmackDown Friday and the Royal Rumble, the big one, on Saturday. And might be taking Sunday off. I don't know. I don't really got much going on. Pro Bowl, I don't really.
Ain't nothing going on.
Go ahead, Jay.
And then real quick, Kobe Bryant, it had been 5 years since he passed yesterday. And I made a post saying that it's just crazy how we haven't seen a three-peat since Kobe's Lakers in 2000, 2001, 2002, and now Patrick Mahomes, 25 years later, has a chance to have the first three-peat.
Whew. That man on the screen right there is the co-founder, the executive producer, the OTC. He'll be with us for the Rumble this week, so stay tuned. Drizzy Dre, the other co-founder, the Commander Lauren, the captain of the Goofy Ship, senior producer, voice of reason, Cravante Bebe. Last but not least, man who makes your streams pristine, Big Raj. Appreciate you all, fellas. And we'll do it again the rest of the week as we head towards the Rumble and the Super Bowl. Only place, fellas, give you sports how you want it.
When you need it.
Flex on one on all your social media. Flex on one on the Cash App, the email at gmail.com. And as always, leave a like, hit the bell, subscribe, and if you're watching after the fact, leave a comment, leave an emoji. Anything helps us out tremendously. We'll see you guys, I'm sure, tomorrow with some type of content, and Wednesday for AEW. For Cravante, Dre, Raj, and our guest, Louis T. R.I.P. to Kobe. Couldn't have said it better myself, Alex. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, everybody in the chat. All the Eagles fans. Miss Swift was in here again. Shout out to everybody. Showing the love. We appreciate it. We love the growth and support. We're nothing without you. Could be doing anything else. We appreciate you watching our show. We're going to bed, putting the kids to bed. Started the week off right. We'll continue the momentum into the Rumble and the Super Bowl. Have a good night, everybody. Peace.
Peace.